Hello everyone. I'm Ashwini Kavlikar, Assistant Professor in Mathematics at Father Agnel College of Arts and Commerce, Pilar, Goa. Program FI BCom B, Subject Mathematics, Semester 2, Course Code CAC 102, Course Title Commercial Arithmetic 2. Title of the unit, Unit 3, Calculus 2. Module name, Concept of Integration, Standard Forms and Examples. In this module, I will cover concept of integration, standard forms of integration, and take some examples of integration. Learning outcomes. The student will be able to understand the concept of integration, recognize and apply the standard forms of integration. So we'll start with the first part, that is concept of integration. Integration basically means to integrate or to unite. So we'll take the first case where I have drawn the curve f of x and we have to find the area under this curve. So the region what I'm marking is the area under the curve. This is what we have to find. Now to find this region, I have drawn rectangles such that these rectangles will cover the area under the curve. And if I want to find the total area under the curve, I will take the sum of the areas of these rectangles. But if you see, we are getting the extra area. But if you see, we are getting the extra area than the desired one. So I'm taking the second case wherein I have reduced the rectangle's dimension such that the extra area which I was getting is less. See, this is the extra area which we get, which we do not require in the desired area. I want to find the area under the curve. So still we have some extra area which we do not require. So I'm taking the third case. In the third case, I have decreased the rectangle's dimension more. So it was much lesser in the second one. Then I went to the third one which had much lesser dimension. And these dimension will cover lesser extra area. Here, this is the extra area which we have. We have taken only 3 cases, wherein in the first case we have 3 rectangles, in the second case we have 5 rectangles, and in the third one we have 9 rectangles. So as you take more cases, your number of rectangles will be n. You will have n number of rectangles, and as you take more cases, you will see that this extra area what you get decreases, and you will have a case wherein you will get the exact area what you require. For that, your number of rectangles will be n. So if you want to find the area under the curve, that is this portion, I will take the sum of all the areas of these rectangles. So instead of taking the sum, because we have many rectangles, I will take integral, which basically means sum only, but when you have many values or many rectangles. So since we had the curve f of x, I will take integral of that f of x, that is the function of x. And whenever you put this integral sign, you have to put this dx along with that sign. So if I want to find the area under the curve, we require integral of that curve f of x, which will give me the final value. Integration is the reverse process of differentiation. Now this is the second part, where we can also say that integration is the reverse process of differentiation or taking the derivative. That is, if d by dx, which means the derivative of some function, that is the first function, is equal to g of x, that is the second function, then integral of g of x is equal to f of x plus c, where c is the constant of integration. This is the constant of integration. We add this c to avoid any discrepancies in the solution. Moving on to the second part, that is standard forms of integration. I have taken 5 standard forms of integration. You have many forms of integration. Here I have given you all 5 basic ones. The functions are given and the integrals are given. I will explain you all these 5 functions with the examples. So we will take some examples. That is the third part. I'll take the first example. We have integrate the following. And the first function is x raised to 4. This is the function what we have. So basically we have integral sign x raised to 4 and dx. Whenever we write the integral sign, we should always put the dx. Now, to solve any integral problem, that is to find integration, you should observe the function what is given first. Now, if I observe the function, we have x raised to 4, and you should compare this function to the standard form. So, I'll just go back to the formulas. We have the standard forms over here. In my first example, I had x raised to 4. So, I'll compare which is similar to that part. Here, this is the part what we require. So, we have x raised to 4, n equal to 4. And to use the first integral, we cannot have n equal to minus 1. We cannot have the value of n to be minus 1. We can only use this formula when we have the value n not equal to minus 1. You can have negative, you can have 0, you can have positive, but except minus 1. So, I'll use the first one over here, where n equal to 4. So, integral of that is the number plus 1 divided by number plus 1. So, you have to add 1 to that power and write the same power after adding 1 in the denominator. So, since our n was 4, n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. Whatever you write in the power, you repeat the same thing in the denominator. And you have to add this c, as I told you all that for the final part we add c to avoid any discrepancies. So, if I write this properly, 4 plus 1 will give me 5, and here also in the denominator I will get 5. So, this is the first solution. Moving on to the second example. In the second example, we have the function x raised to minus 1. Now, I cannot use the first formula because the power here is minus 1. And we cannot use this because I have specified that you cannot have n equal to minus 1. So, I should look for a formula or a form which will give me the integral of x raised to minus 1. Here, this is that form. You can also write this form as 1 upon x, because whenever you have any term raised to minus 1, that term, this term, you can bring it in the denominator and change its power. So, you have minus 1 over here. When you get it in the denominator, the power changes its sign. So, negative will become positive. And you cannot use this formula when you have x equal to 0. So, you cannot have 0 raised to minus 1. Other than that, you can use the formula. So here we have x is to minus 1 and then integral of that, which is log of mod of x. These two lines, what you can see is, you pronounce it as mod of x. It is modulus function. So we say log of modulus of x, and then you add c to every solution. So we have log of modulus of x plus c. Log is the logarithmic function. So log of mod x plus c. Third example. In the third example, we have e raised to x. Now here, this is a special function, e raised to x. And if I compare this to the standard formulas, we cannot use the first one, second one. Directly we have the third one, that is e raised to x. And integral of e raised to x is e raised to x. Now this is a special function because we have integral of e raised to x to be the same, e raised to x only. So here also we have e raised to x plus c. I'll take the fourth example, that is 7 raised to x. Now I see many of them assume this to be x raised to n. If you see x raised to n, it is variable raised to number. But here we have number raised to variable. So both are not same. They are in the reverse order. So I'll compare this to the standard forms. We have fourth one over here, which is similar to the fourth problem. That is a raised to x, where a is a number which is greater than 0. It should be a number or a constant which is greater than 0. And integral of that is, you should write the same term. If this is the term, then it will come in the integral. So we write a raised to x divided by log of a. So log of the number. And add c to that. So if I use this for my fourth example, then we have a as 7. So compare, you will get a equal to 7. So 7 raised to x. We will write the integral, which is the same term, 7 raised to x divided by log of a. A here is 7. So log of 7. And log of any number is a constant. So we get this finally to be 7 raised to x divided by log of 7 plus c. Taking the fifth example, we have integral of log of x dx. Now I'll compare this to the standard functions, that is, here we have the last one, that is log of x dx, and x should be greater than 0 because you cannot have log of numbers or variables which are less than 0. You even don't have log of 0. Logarithm function is only for those numbers which are greater than 0. And integral of that is x log x minus 1 plus c. So I'll use this. Log of x, we have integral of log of x to be x log of x minus 1 plus c. I have directly substituted the integral formula over here. And that is my solution. Sixth one, we have integral of a number. This is a number or a constant, and you don't have any function along with that. So integral of a number, I'll just check the standard forms. Here we don't have any formula which has integral of a number. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write this constant or number in another form. So we have written 57 as 57 multiplied by x raised to 0. Now simply you cannot add anything. I have multiplied this because I know x raised to 0 is 1. So if this is 1, 1 into 57 is 57. So finally we get the previous problem here. X is to 0, any variable or any number is to 0 is 1. So we can write 57 as 57x is to 0. And then use the first standard form, that is x is to 0 and equal to 0. We have 57, x is to 0 plus 1. You add 1 to the power divided by 0 plus 1. Plus c. So till here we have computed the integral. Now you write this properly. X raised to 0 plus 1, that will give me x raised to 1. 0 plus 1 in the denominator will be 1. And we have 57 plus c. Any number divided by 1 is the same number, or you can say any term divided by 1 is the same term. So 57x plus c. It is not compulsory to write this one because when we don't have any power written, it is understood that the power is 1. This is the reference. Thank you.